All right. So it says we are live. I always love seeing that. Now, the only thing now I need to find is where are all of you? And there we are. Okay, I'm going to say good morning in our chat box. And if you could say good morning or hello, or you live in what city and state or country, that would be great. So if you see my eyes shifting over here to the side, that's so I can see the chat, because I always love to see if you guys are saying hello or anything. So how is everybody this morning? We are in November, already a week into the month. It's like shocking. How does time go so fast? I'm what you say. We say that a lot, but it just seems to go faster and faster. I remember my mother saying, don't try to hurry it up. It goes fast enough as it is. You know, when you're a teenager and in your 20s and you're just looking at all that life has to offer and all the things you want to do. And it just seems to go so slow, right? Because you want that next thing to happen, whatever it is. And now that we're a little older than that, it's going so fast. Could we just slow down just a little bit? So anyway, I'm so glad to be with you all this morning. And it is kind of a cloudy. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. It's a little allergy going on, not sick or anything. So I kind of had a great, I'll just fill y'all in as we wait for a couple of people to get on. My daughter, Alicia, drove in from Wisconsin yesterday. She is coming in for a funeral. Father of a good friend of hers is today. And so she drove in yesterday. So it was nice to have a little time with her last night. And then Justin and his family decided to come over to see her. So it was great. So one more time, we said, this is why we moved here, so that we could just be available. So excuse me one moment. Like, oh, sorry. That's the thing with live. It is what it is, right? You sneeze or cough or whatever, it happens. That's what we do on live shows. So I'm glad you're here. Hello, Debbie. Good morning. So nice to see you here. Like, yay. And bless me. Thank you very much, Kathy. We are going to be having our Kansas City lunch coming up December 5th, on Tuesday, December 5th. And if you are listening and you did not get, I have not posted it on the main Facebook page. I sent out some messages because the venue only has room for 14 people. So if you want to be one of those 14, you can reach out to me right here and I'll send you the info. But this week I will be posting it on in our Fun Fearless Female page for those of you who might like to go, because we have some new members from the area that I would love to meet. So that would be really great. So all right. So what's new with you two girls? Anything good? So Kathy or Debbie, post just one little something. What's new, or what are you working on this week, or what are you looking forward to? Just some little comment about you. I would love to see on there. I'm going to give you a second to put it on. I'm putting you on the spot. Oh gosh. It is just so fun as we look forward to the different things. One of the things that I'm doing, making a point about doing, is reconnecting with people. Since I'm back here in Kansas City, that house is pretty settled. I'm in normal living mode, still working on stuff. Of course, that'll probably take a year. Oh, Kathy, that is great. Growth and expansion in this last quarter. Yeah, because the year's not over yet. So don't give up already. I think that's a tendency. It's like, well, we're in November, not much else I can do, right? No, that's wrong. You can still grow. You can still expand. You can finish your goals that you had for the year. So I love that, Kathy. That's great. And oh, Debbie, crazy busy with shows almost every day. Good for you. Like, that is awesome. Okay, y'all, excuse me a second here. I apologize. Maybe I'm going to go. Well, I don't know. I'm just going to do it. I know that. I know it's rude, but I can't help it if you want me to be able to talk through the rest of the thing. And Lisa just built an anti-chicken force field around my raised bed. That's very clever. Okay. So the raised bed must be with something growing in it that you do not want the chickens to get, right? That must be it. That's great. And hi, Lisa. Good morning. Nice to see you. Of course, you and Kathy's great. Uh, so where was I? So I was talking a little bit about just the fact that, you know, we moved here for the purpose of being available for our family, being able to see the kids more and all of that. So it's been really interesting. This is the reason we moved here. So starting last Monday or Sunday, something. So in the last little over a week, I've actually seen Justin's family 4 times. It's crazy. So August Rain had her birthday, and then we had Halloween, and we went trick-or-treating with the kids. And then Emily, Justin's wife, had her birthday, so we went out to dinner with them. And then last night they all came over and we got to see them again. So it's like, okay, this is really working. This is what we moved here for. So I guess it really, I mean, it's good. That's the reason we did. So it's kind of interesting when we see that actually unfold. Sometimes when you make plans or you do something for a particular reason, you're never quite sure it's going to really work out that way. And so, yeah, I think it really is. So, all right. As we get started, so this weekend, so November 11th, which is Saturday, is Veterans Day. And so I wanted to look up a little information on that. And history was never my strong suit. I mean, I hate to admit it, just really didn't care too much about it. It wasn't my big deal. Whereas my husband, that is his thing. He loves history. He reads all these history books and likes to read things about, you know, he'll pick his, for the last 10 years has been the war between the states, the whole Confederacy and the, you know, that whole history of things. And but that's never been a real interest of mine. Now, what I really enjoy if I'm reading things is I love autobiographies or biographies. I love reading real stories about real people and what they did. And that's kind of movies I like too. I like movies that are based on true stories. And I know they're not exactly true and all, but I enjoy those, probably my favorite that I enjoy. And so when I was thinking about Veterans Day, I thought, well, I'm just going to go check out just a little bit. And I'm going to read a little bit on this, y'all. So, because I won't remember it all to give you kind of the details. So I'm going to skim over a little because I did a couple of things I did learn about it that I wasn't aware of. I just knew it was Veteran Day and we honor our veterans. And so, but it's actually even more than that. I mean, that is awesome in itself, but what it actually stood for and how it was started. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about it. So it was originally called Armistice Day. And I went in and it says an armistice is a cessation or a stop of arms for short time by convention, can be temporary suspension of hostilities, a truce, but it's where we stop fighting by mutual consent. So it originally started at the end of World War I. And November 11th, 1918 was the date that the public felt was the end of the war. I guess the actual treaty on that didn't get signed till June of the next year, but the date that everybody, you know, celebrating, we've seen pictures of that where they're celebrating in the streets the end of the war, where they had a truce to stop. And so, you know, that was a pretty big deal. And so it was called for years called Armistice Day. And then what the other kind of cool thing was, so November 11th and at 11 o'clock. So did y'all know this? I was not. At 11 o'clock, businesses, the public took a brief pause. And they said it was 2 minutes. They took 2 minutes of a pause for business and schools to stop and just remember and in observance of that day, of that stopping, what they called the Great War, just the whole travesty of all of what war does. And so I thought that was really very cool that they took that time. And I'd never heard of the 11 at 11 o'clock. So by the time in 1938, all the states had and their legislators had to legislatures had declared November 11th as a legal holiday. And then in 1938, it became a legal federal holiday. And this is, it says, dedicated to the cause of world peace and to be hereafter celebrated and known as Armistice Day. So I thought that was very cool. Now, it did change. As we know, we call it Veterans Day now. But I do remember when I was younger, I remember the being called Armistice Day. Again, I didn't really get it or know what it was about. But after in 1954, after lobbying efforts of veteran service organizations, the 83rd Congress amended that earlier act that made Armistice Day a holiday and made it Veterans Day. And Dwight Eisenhower signed that legislation in 1954. And from then on, November 11th became a day to honor American veterans of all wars. And there's a little phrase here I'm going to read to y'all because I thought this was very cool because of what it says. Let me see if I can just find that exactly what I want to read it. But it basically said that to take that moment to pray and to be thankful and to be in a place of world peace, of accepting others and reaching out to the world with goodwill and wanting to have peace in the world. So I thought, yeah, it kind of makes that day a little more powerful or have more meaning to it, like I said, because I really didn't know too much about it. So maybe y'all learned something on that. And then it was decided, even though many of the holidays have switched to Mondays, what this says is that that one stayed in place. So November 11th, whatever day of the week it's on. However, for federal holidays and things, businesses decide for themselves. So, or the government will tell which government offices, but banks and those things, they can observe it on the Friday or the Monday before, but the actual Veterans Day is November 11th. Kind of like, it's nice to have one day that's actual the day because it's what it stands for, the end of the war. So really, really a big deal. So thank you to all of you veterans out there and those of you who have families who are veterans, for all of you who are serving now. I mean, those of you who are serving now in your families, but those, not just the ones like Memorial Day is about those who have died serving their country. Whereas Veterans Day is about anyone who served. And we have many, many veterans out there. And in any way that we can support them is great. My husband is a veteran. He was in the service. And many of you have those in your family that are as well. And a lot of the restaurants and things will give discounts on Veterans Day or something like that too. So that's just kind of an extra little special thing that they do. All right, here we go. Well, let me get back over here to see if we've had anybody. Oh, Debbie said, I love historical fiction. Yeah, I love reading those. Alicia's into English history, so she's read a whole lot of English history. It's pretty fascinating about all of it. All right, so the other thing that I wanted to chat with y'all about this morning is when was the last time that you did something that you've never done before? And I was really having a time with that. I was like, what have I done that what was the last time I did something I've never done before? So what about you guys? Can you think of something, the last time you did something you've never done before? Now, I think this last year, Dr. Laura, I don't know if she'd done one before, but it took her months, but it's pretty fabulous. She built a greenhouse. And I know Lisa has also, but I think Lisa built one before. I'm not sure if that was the first time. So what is something that you've never done before? I think it's important for us to look at that because, it's really easy to just kind of get in our normal, and you may be the most productive person in the world. You may just do so much. And actually, all three of y'all that I can see that are on here are women who just do a lot, and you're great in your business and you're consistent. But the question isn't really about that as much as when was the last time that you did something you've never done before? you know, the first thought that came to my mind was like bungee jumping. Well, I don't really want to bungee jump, but I don't know why that came into my brain when I saw that question. John Maxwell asked that question, and actually that's where I saw the question. I thought, well, that's a pretty good one to talk to everybody about, to kind of reflect on things. So Lisa, you inspired me. I'm thinking, I'm not committing right now. I'm not committing, but something I've never done before is bake bread. And I know you do consistently. You bake your wonderful loaves that you bake. So that would be something I've never done before that I could try, that I could do. So what are some other things? Y'all have any ideas out there? What is something else that that you could do that you've never done before? Any ideas out there? Okay, Lisa, I used a whatever nailing gun for the first time. Okay, what kind of a nailing gun is that? What is that? Oh yeah, your bread? Is that what you're talking about? Your bread, not the nailing gun. Yummy and relaxing. And I imagine your house smells great. It's like having bread cooking. Bill would love that. Now, Bill has done a number of things because he loves to watch these YouTube videos on cooking. He's often trying recipes and things that he's never done before. Like, so it's not the cooking's not what he's done, but finding new recipes and just trying it. So I think I'm just trying to have thoughts of like, what? I don't know for me, guys, the thing that I did, because everything I've done like this last 6 months, at least I think everything I've done, has been something I've done before. We moved, we bought furniture, we put shelves, we put, storage shelving together. I've done that before. So I think right now where I am, I think most everything I've done in the last 6 months or so has been things I've done before. So I'm kind of talking to myself here. What can I do? Let me see. I read 25 books this summer. So that may be the first time I've done that before. I don't think I've ever read that many at once. As just was how I was doing time in between looking at houses and stuff. It's kind of crazy. But what about you? What else out there? Hey, Terry Ann, good morning. Kathy, you are just so funny. Please let me know, she says, if you need any recipes. Sweetie Pie, I don't think you're the one I'd come to for recipes. Although I am going to try. Well, that would be something I haven't done yet. So it would be the first time where you did all your vegetables and cooked them on the grill. So I could try that. That would be good. So think of that. So, you could do it in a couple of different areas. You could do from your business life. What is something that you've never done in your business? Maybe something somebody suggested to you and you've just been afraid of it. Because usually if there's those things, it's fear. Most of the time it's fear that holds us back from doing certain things. I did a few years ago, I was with my sister in Brighton, and we were down just outside of Phoenix, or outside of Mesa, Arizona, where my mother lives. There was this little little farmstead, and they had different activities, and they had this so easy, what is it called? When you start at the, start at the top at one thing and you slide down, you hold on to a bar or something and you slide down. What is that? What is that called, you guys? Tell me what that's called. Anyway, I had never done one, and I'd always watched people, but usually they're the ones that are, up here and you come down through the forest, through the rainforest or something. That I've seen that on TV. It always looks so cool. First, I've never had the opportunity. I've never been anywhere they had a big one like this, but this one was a little small one. But I did it because that was my first time, but I did it because I thought, Delinda, surely you can do this little thing. It wasn't even probably, it probably was not 50 feet high, but 50 feet across. Zip line. Yes. That's it. Both of y'all. Thank you. Zip line. So I may do one of those, even though I did the little tiny one. That doesn't exactly count, but it was a strange feeling. So what are some other things that y'all can think of to put out there that we could, that you might want to do that you've never done? What's holding you back? What's something in your business that you could do that's for the first time? Maybe you've never done a Facebook Live. Okay. Maybe you've never done a video. And you'll find once you do it the first time, it's not nearly as scary as you think it is. So maybe that's something you could put on your business list or even your personal list and talk to people. So what is something that has been holding you back that you've always wanted to do, you've never done it because you're afraid, you don't know what it's going to feel like, you don't know if it'll be successful. And the truth is the success is in the doing. It doesn't matter the other results if you're counting numbers of people or how many hits you get or whatever. No, even if not one person watched your first Facebook Live or your first video, the fact that you did it is success, because you got out of your comfort zone. So really is. It's about stretching yourself and growing and putting yourself in a position to experience something new, because it's really easy to kind of get in a rut, even if your rut is fabulous. Okay, even if your rut is great, you love where your business is, it's growing and you're having the success that you want, you still need to continue to grow. You still need to be able to step out and do something you've never done before. So maybe so the Facebook Live that, whatever I was just talking about, that's one of the things, because I've had several of you, and those of you that will be watching later, have said to me, this is something I really want to do, but, I'm kind of afraid to do it. And if you're waiting till you get perfect, it'll never happen. So I'm just saying that. And when in this article that actually this was Darren LaCroix, who's in Las Vegas. I did a couple classes with him. And one of the things that he put things to think about in regard to this subject, he said, what step can you take towards your dream today? So first of all, do you have a dream? Now, dream is different than a goal, but do you have a dream? And if you keep doing what you're doing, you're never going to hit your dream, because if you'd done everything, you would already be living your dream. Does that make sense? So you have to take a step that you've never done before to get the success you want. So if maybe you've never, I don't know, when it comes to phone calls, let's just put that out there, because that seems to always be a hard one in any business for most people, not everybody, is making the phone calls that are necessary to happen, or doing the Zoom calls that you need to do. And maybe, you have a coach or someone who said, you need to do whatever, 2 Zoom calls a day. And maybe you've never done that. Kathy, that would not be you. Or either you, Debbie, because I know y'all do more than that. But what is it for you? Because it doesn't matter who else does however many. If you've never done 2 somethings a day in your business, 2 phone calls, 2 Zoom calls, 2 follow-up letters, whatever that is, if you've never done 2 a day, then do 2 a day. Try it. See, maybe it'll make a difference. So there's other things too. Maybe you've never done a really in-depth Bible study. And I'll tell you, you get so much from that, so much learning, so much more understanding when you do that. So, look around at your church or other churches or places that, do that, or people even within our group. There are ladies in our Fun Fearless group that I know lead Bible studies that you can, reach out to them about when are they starting their next one. So if you've never done, a really intense or a full Bible study type of class, do that. Could be maybe in your exercise, maybe you've never walked a mile. Put that on your list. So start out smaller and, walk a half a mile, and maybe you've never done a mile, and go do a mile, or maybe you've never done 3 miles. See, I think the most I ever did was, I kind of like the counting of steps, on the pedometer things they have on your phone, because for me, it seems, okay, well, how many steps did you do today? I did 2,000 steps, or I did 5,000. The most I ever did was 21,000. And that was Bill and I were down Newport Beach, and we were walking the beach, and we're walking along the edge, and we had no idea how far we were going. And so we kept, it's like, oh, well, that place right down there is a little restaurant. Let's go down there. Well, by the time we went to the restaurant and back, it was like 21,000 steps, and we were pretty tired, but it was great. So whatever it is, the thing is, it's looking at your life and what is it that you want, and what's something that, you want to try. Y'all have heard me say before, if you've been around much, one of my biggies years ago, while I was still in Mary Kay, actually, I'd never been to the movie by myself. I was afraid of it. I was kind of embarrassed. Like, well, what is somebody going to say if they see me go into the movie by myself? Are they going to think I don't have any friends? Or they think, poor girl, she's lonely, whatever. But I love movies. And so I thought, I was available during the day. The kids were in school and stuff, and Bill was at work. So I just decided one day I was just going to do it. And it felt weird. It felt weird and strange. But when I came out, I just loved it. So now I do that periodically because now I'm not afraid of it. But the first time was hard. So think about it. What is one thing you can do you've never done before? The next question that Daryl asked was, who will you inspire today? How is there some way that you can inspire someone else? And that sometimes puts you having to reach out of your comfort zone to reach out. Maybe it's posting an inspirational thought or something that happened to you or something that you lived through, but you've never told it. You've never told that part of your story. Maybe sometimes, you guys, it's amazing how you can inspire others just with your life, just with the cool things, the great things you've done, the things that you've lived through, the things you've survived, or maybe just the things that you've celebrated that just inspire somebody else to do it too. You can be an inspiration to others. So kind of think about that. And then his last question was, who can you make laugh or feel loved today? And I think that, kind of goes with the inspiration, but a little bit different. Who can you make laugh? And Daryl, I'll tell you, that's his thing. He is great, uses comedy and laughter in all of his things. He's great at that. Or make feel loved today. And although, I hope it's not for the first time, but it's something to kind of keep in mind, ways that you can do that. My goal over these last weeks and the last month or so is I am reaching out to people since I'm new here in town. I think I started to say this thought earlier and I got sidetracked. A big surprise. But I think one of the things is, since I'm not new in town, but I'm back in town since it's been a long time since we've actually lived here. I think that I want to reach out and talk to and see in person people that I have not seen in a long time. And I've been really blessed. Kathy and I were able to get together for lunch, and it was so great. And Dr. Laura and I got together, and I'm getting together with a gal next Tuesday. So my goal is to reconnect with someone in person, because I think that's important too, how we connect with people in person every week. Now, one may not sound like very much for where I am right now and what I'm doing. That's what I want. One is right now the great number for me. And then I may decide I'm going to do two. Now, this for me right now is not a one-on-one for building business. This is for reconnecting from the heart, just sitting down and sharing. And Terry Ann, she's on here this morning. We got together and had a wonderful time together. So that's, and maybe that's something you could put on your thing, that you have not stepped out of your comfort zone and want to connect with people, either reconnect or connect with someone just for the fact, just to do it, just to get together and rebuild the friendship, or to build a friendship or build a relationship. So something to think about. All right. Well, we are at the top of the hour. So I'm going to just look over here real quick, see if we've had any other things. Oh, I love that, Grace. Do the same thing over and over and expecting different results is called insanity. Isn't that the truth? You want to grow your business, or you want something in your life, but you're not willing to change or make a difference. If you don't change, you're going to keep just getting, keep doing what you're doing. You're going to keep getting what you got. Same idea here. So I love that. Yes, Terry Ann, you are right. We do. And we went to the Greenwood. Is that right? Little tea house. It was so fun. It was really, really nice. I loved it. So, and any of you that I'm here in Kansas City, if you would like to reach out and have one of those just coffee chat times with me, reach out. I'd love that. So that's on my goal. Once a week, I want to have one of those heart-to-heart coffees. Oh, and I did it last week. I have a great friend. Our kids were little together. We lived in a cul-de-sac over in Overland Park, over in Nottingham. And you know how, if y'all had that experience when our kids were little, I mean, I'm talking about Alicia was less than, well, I guess we moved there. So from the time she was born, but when she was little and I'd be out riding the bike with her on the back of the bike, from about the time they were 18 months old, we lived on this cul-de-sac, and there were two in particular, but three or four of us families that had kids about the same age. And the kids did their Hot Wheels and three-wheelers and all of that stuff in the cul-de-sac. It was a wonderful, marvelous time. And this friend of mine, Bonnie, I'm gonna just put her name out there. She's awesome, Bonnie Johnson. And we had a long breakfast meeting at her house. I get to go over to her house. She has a green thumb like you can't believe. She has the most beautiful gardens, and she started her own business. Has been so successful through the years. But I was gone, when we left for Vegas, but even before that, we had been in Nashville. So we literally had not seen each other for probably 20 years, maybe longer, could have been 25. We couldn't exactly figure it out. So it was wonderful to reconnect. So who can you reconnect with? Is there somebody you haven't seen or talked to? Maybe they don't live local, but you could reach out and talk. And in that case, I'd say do a Zoom or do a FaceTime so you can actually see the responses and see their eyes and see their smile. And, if you can't be one-on-one in person over a cup of coffee or a meal, do it face-to-face through one of these other tools that we have. We're so blessed to have these tools to be able to do that. So, all right. Okay. And let's see if I see anything else here. Don't miss that. You guys are great. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Think about Veterans Day as we come up there, and just take that, maybe set your alarm. I thought that was a great thing, that when it started, they would do 2 minutes at 11 o'clock.